Welcome, welcome, welcome. TBW Clips. I am Tyson. Today, the debate was yesterday. A lot of people have a lot of stuff to say about the performances of both Joe Biden and Trump. More so, Joe Biden. Let's take a look at the post-debate analysis. Let's check this out from MSNBC. Let's see what they have to say.
Joy. Yeah, I can relate to having a cold. I have a negative COVID test and a slight cold as well. So I understand not feeling well. And, obviously Joe Biden comes in with certain deficits. He has a stutter. It is more difficult for him to communicate for that reason. So there's a lot to mitigate the way that he speaks, and you can understand it. And we've observed.
Well, we didn't know he had a stutter until recently, right? She's going with the excuse of he has a stutter. I never heard of Joe Biden having a stutter. Now he does. Let's keep going.
For a long time. That said, I too was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were...
So she can't say how she felt about it. This washes her hands. Other people were calling and telling her this, and she's just reporting back to what everybody was saying. How do you feel, Joy? How did you feel about it, Joy? All right, let's keep going.
Very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak. And, I'll just reiterate what I said earlier. President Biden had one job tonight, and it was one primary job. And yes, it was to litigate Donald Trump's, criminality and all of those things. But he had to settle his own party. Mm-hmm. He needed to settle Democrats. Democrats, they always talk about Democrats are bedwetters and Democrats are always panicking. Yes, Democrats are always panicking. They're always scared, right? They're always thinking they're going to lose. Like, Democrats are very pessimistic. This is just neurotic. Who they are. They're neurotic. But Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. His job was to calm.
Reassure you. You're a Democrat. She's like reassuring them. You're a Democrat. You reassure you. And he didn't do that. So when she's talking about other people and Democrats, she's talking about herself. She's talking about herself. Joe Biden obviously did not have a good night. It was terrible. Usually there would be joy and smiles around, even if he did something that was somewhat good. But they can't even spin how terrible he was last night. Let's keep going.
His party to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. I have the ability and the stamina and the strength to do 4 more years. He did not do that. He did the opposite of that. He made them more panicked. The people who were texting me were even more panicked. They actually expected it to be better than it was. And now they're
not them. Them, yes, but her.
And are people that you're talking to are expressing these concerns? Are these people who are involved in Democratic politics, or are these liberals watching TV?
This is not liberals watching TV. These are campaign people. Mm-hmm. These are people who are either Democratic operatives. These are people who were former, sort of Obama world administration people. These are people who are in the business.
Okay.
So the civilians are also panicking. They're also texting me, but I was trying to kind of ignore the civilians and really talk to the campaign folks.
Like yourself?
They're worried, and there is, it's not a full drumbeat yet, but there is talk of, look, here's the thing. I know a lot of politicians. I just happen to know a lot of them at a lot of levels. They all believe that they have a unique ability to run the race that they passionately want to run. And I know for a fact that Joe Biden passionately believes that he is the only person who can beat Donald Trump, and he has evidence of it because he did it before.
Right.
He knows that he has certain demographic strengths that Donald Trump cannot counter. He is the real working class white guy that's actually Donald Trump's base, so he knows how to talk to them. He believes that he is the only person that can do it. The problem is, after tonight, his party doesn't believe that.
You don't believe it.
Lawrence and Chris as well. I first want to go to our colleague.
See how she did that? Joe Biden is the only one who could do it. But after tonight, his party doesn't believe it. So she was talking herself up. She was speaking about herself. I believe Joe Biden's the only person that can do it. Now the other party doesn't believe it. Her party. She doesn't believe it now.
Wagner, who is on site in Atlanta. She has been watching the debate in the spin room. Alex, what's the reaction that you've been hearing there?
I'm not going to put a fine sheen on it or a spin on it, even though I'm in the spin room, Rachel. There has been a uniformly negative reaction
because you can't.
to Biden's
you can't spin this
tonight. Surely, as you know, Joyce said, this was about revealing who Donald Trump was, but it was also Joe Biden battling a caricature of himself as an.
How is he going to reveal who Donald Trump is when these guys put that stuff out every day? He's a terrible person. He does this. He does that. He does this. He needed to talk about the issues, not try to bash Donald Trump, which what they do every day, MSNBC, CNN, and all the other networks. We already know all of Trump's dirty laundry, even more, right? Even made up stuff, right? They spin all of it. They couldn't spin this.
Enfeebled person, an impression that Trump has been eager to convey to the country, and he did nothing to disabuse, I think, the country of the notion that he is very old and was lost frequently in that debate. I mean, on answers that should have been, to put it bluntly, a layup for him, whether it was abortion or the attack on abortion medication, his answers were rambling and incoherent. He turned a response on abortion into a mention of migrant killing. I mean, this is a person that clearly was over-prepared and had a lot of different points that were sort of swimming around in his head, and as a result, it felt like the answers that were legible,
He wasn't over-prepared. He had too much information, and he didn't know how to relay that information in a coherent way, right? That's what they're trying to say. No, come on now. Sometimes there's nothing you can say. You can only bull crap so much.
Were not nearly delivered with the force and the clarity that they should have been. And I will say, Donald Trump was in some ways the most Trumpy he has been lately, full of lies and misinformation, but it was almost an afterthought. I think the press that I've spoken with and the sort of the focus in this room is just, the Biden campaign wanted this debate. This was their idea. And this is what happened as part of their strategy. It is confounding. We were told earlier this evening that the Biden spin team would be only making brief remarks in the room. And I don't know whether that is indicative of a group of people who understood the weaknesses that their candidate had in advance of this debate. But you can surely understand the logic of that after the fact.
While you sit there dilly-dallying,
So there you have it, guys. Even MSNBC, they seem sad, no joy, very somber. There's nothing they could do. They can't spin this. Biden had a terrible night. He didn't know how to speak. The ideas that he had were not good. And there's nothing he could say. He couldn't he couldn't spin it. Biden couldn't spin his record in the debate with all the information he had. They couldn't spin, the news media couldn't spin it positively for Biden because he didn't give them anything. And there you have it. So, first debate goes to Trump. Biden, he might have lost some people during the debate. But people should already pretty much know who they're going to vote for at this juncture. They've seen both terms, 4 years from Trump, 4 years from Biden. They can compare the two. Were your lives better off 4 years ago or under Biden? And that's pretty much as simple as that. They couldn't spin it. So they couldn't say anything good. Even Joy Reid had to, she tried to sweeten it up as much as they could, but there's nothing you can do. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great day.